El Chapo walked to the car waiting for him, and he left the prison without any trouble. How did El Chapo escape that easily? Who helped him? It all starts from the beginning. Puente Grande, the prison where El Chapo was held. He didn't try to break out of Puente Grande. He just brought it. Who was El Chapo? Joaquín Guzmán Loera. They call him El Chapo, a kingpin, who built an empire that moved 500 tons of cocaine and the world's most powerful drug trafficking organization, the Sinaloa Cartel, a sprawling, multi-billion-dollar criminal syndicate that controlled much of the world's drug trade. Cocaine, heroin, meth, fentanyl. Nothing moved without their mark. They were responsible for up to 60% of the illegal drugs entering the United States. It operated in over 50 countries and raked in more than $3 billion annually. After 13 years, in February 2014, El Chapo got caught. This time, the Mexican government sent him to the Altiplano, the most secure prison in Mexico. Walls 30 feet high, 24-hour surveillance, laser sensors. Altiplano was inescapable. But El Chapo found a way, and he sent his message to his wife, Colonel Ispuro. It is time. We should do it now. In the meantime, while El Chapo was in prison, his right-hand man, on the outside, El Cholo Ivan, started to build an escape for his leader, and his plan began almost immediately. They searched for the closest spot to the prison and bought a small, ordinary piece of land just over a mile away. It looked harmless, but it was the perfect place for their plan. They started the construction. On the surface, it was just another construction site, but below ground, a secret army of miners and engineers, hand-picked for their skill and loyalty, began digging a secret tunnel. Their mission was to drive a tunnel nearly a mile long, aimed at a single precise point deep beneath the Altiplano. El Chapo's men studied prison layouts, blueprints, and surveillance angles. Every inch of Altiplano was a fortress with cameras, motion sensors, and guards on 24-hour rotation. They pinpointed the blind spot, the only place in the cell untouched by cameras. They brought in a team, a hand-picked crew of engineers, miners, and loyal cartel men. No outsiders. They started to dig the tunnel. It was no ordinary tunnel, standing 1.7 meters high, tall enough to walk straight without bending their leader, El Chapo's head. The tunnel was 10 meters deep, and the air was stale, suffocating, so they installed industrial ventilation systems. To light up the tunnel, they wired low-voltage LED lighting along the tunnel walls, connected to a generator hidden inside the warehouse. They kept the lights dim enough to work, not enough to leak heat signatures or light through the soil. A tunnel this size was risky. The noise and vibration would surely trigger Altiplano's seismic sensors, so they avoided all heavy machinery. Instead, they used hand tools and custom electric drills wrapped in soundproofing foam. And to move the hundreds of tons of soil, they built a motorcycle on rails, a modified bike mounted to a track, pulling small carts loaded with dirt. The further they dig, the more soil piles up behind them. And this isn't just a few bags of dirt, this is hundreds of tons. To cover the dirt, they built elevated scaffolding inside the warehouse. And they mixed soil with cement rubble, wood chips, and trash to look like regular construction waste. Also, they registered the warehouse as a legal construction supply depot, so large amounts of earth and stone moving in and out raised no suspicion. Then, they moved into another problem: precision. If they missed by even a few feet, they'd pop up in the wrong cell, or worse, right into a guard post. So they used laser-guided levels, smuggled GPS coordinates, and topographical data to stay exact. Engineers constantly corrected the route, rerouting when they hit rock or unstable earth. And finally, after months of hard work, they did it. The tunnel was nearly complete, 1.5 kilometers long, 10 meters deep, reinforced, ventilated, wired. But the final step was the most dangerous of all. It had to break ground in exactly the right spot, a 50-centimeter square of tile inside a high-security prison cell, perfectly beneath El Chapo's shower. If they miss it, the entire plan fails. They get stuck. Coronel Ispuro, his wife, visited him and told him they needed the precise location of the blind spot, the spot under the shower. To get that, she brought a GPS-enabled watch and gifted it to El Chapo. The guards allowed it because El Chapo behaved like a humble old man, never causing major disturbances. Guards described him as quiet, disciplined, and polite. Because of this behavior, the guards allowed him to keep the watch gifted by his beloved wife. After he wore the watch, El Chapo went straight to his cell and he placed the GPS-enabled watch in the spot. Inside the Altiplano control room, it's a routine Saturday night. The guards watch the monitors. He walks back and forth. He changes his shoes. He appears calm. He is waiting for the signal. Then he walked to the shower, crouched down behind the wall. Meanwhile, in the control room, the guards were confused. 25 minutes of no motion. A guard went to El Chapo's cell, unlocked the door, and found the cell was empty. He is gone. Successfully broke free from prison for the second time. When El Chapo went to the shower, a trapdoor slid open. He climbs down a ladder 10 meters underground, and Joaquín Guzmán is waiting for him with a rail bike. He gets on the bike and goes straight to the fake construction site. Then he got into the truck and went. The news sent a shockwave across the globe. El Chapo had defeated Mexico's best security not once, but twice. The first time was with a wave of cash that exposed a rotten system. The second time with a feat of engineering that defied belief. This was a huge humiliation for Mexico. Mexico's immediate response was a massive nationwide manhunt. In the hours following the discovery of the empty cell at the Altiplano Federal Prison, authorities shut down Toluca International Airport, located near the prison, and placed heavily armed federal police checkpoints on major roads and highways across the country. The government also issued an international alert and offered a reward of $3.8 million US. But the Mexican government could not capture him. Over the course of the next 6 months, El Chapo managed to remain remarkably elusive, evading detection and maintaining a low profile. He was hunted by the full force of the Mexican military and police, with heavy support from U.S. intelligence agencies like the DEA. This is where the story takes a turn, driven by Guzmán's own ego. On the run, he decided he wanted to immortalize his life story in a grand, Hollywood-style biopic. So he began to communicate with movie producers and actresses. He established contact with the well-known Mexican actress, Kate del Castillo, and also reached out to American actor Sean Penn. In October 2015, while being the most wanted man in the world, El Chapo had a secret meeting. Sean Penn and Kate del Castillo were smuggled into a remote jungle clearing in the mountains near Cosala, Sinaloa, for an interview. For 7 hours, Guzmán bragged about his drug empire to Penn, an interview that would later be published in Rolling Stone magazine. Shortly after the Sean Penn meeting, police received a call about heavily armed men spotted by a neighbor and new vehicles arriving, and a large order of tacos being delivered. Far too much activity for a normal residence. The operation, codenamed Black Swan, was a go. Before dawn, the silence of the residential street was shattered. Elite Mexican Marines blew the doors off the hinges, and the house erupted in the staccato chatter of automatic fire. The battle was short and brutal. 5 of Chapo's gunmen lay dead. As the commandos cleared the blood-soaked rooms, they felt a sickening sense of dread. He wasn't there. Then a Marine noticed something wrong with a mirror in a closet. Behind it, a hidden lever. Behind the lever, a gaping hole. The man who tunneled out of a maximum security prison had built another escape tunnel. This time, it led into the dank, suffocating filth of the city's sewer system. Down in the darkness, Chapo and his top lieutenant scrambled through the waste, the sounds of the battle fading above them. For over a mile, they waded through the grime, a subterranean race for freedom. They burst out of a manhole into the daylight, gasping for air, and hijacked the first vehicle they saw and take off. A federal police unit, alerted to the carjacking, spotted the vehicle. Police started to chase the car. The chase ended with the quiet, mundane authority of a traffic stop. As the officers approached the car, they looked inside and saw the face that had haunted their nation for decades. El Chapo was finally caught. Within hours, El Chapo was flown back to Altiplano prison. In 2017, El Chapo was extradited to the U.S. due to fears he would escape again in Mexico. The U.S. had stronger security, and he faced multiple charges including drug trafficking, murder, and money laundering. Authorities wanted to ensure justice was served in a courtroom he couldn't manipulate or tunnel out of. They say he's locked up for life, buried deep in America's most secure prison. But if history has taught us anything, it's that El Chapo never stays buried for long. The question isn't where he is. It's what he's planning next.